I watched it happen right in front of me. Sarah and Mike sat across my desk, faces crushed. They just lost their dream home. This is the third failed attempt in 2 months. Sarah was fighting back tears. We did everything right, Ramin. We offered $25,000 over asking. We waived inspections. We even wrote that stupid letter about how much we loved their backyard. Mike just stared into his hands. Our agent said we need to be aggressive in this market. And I could feel their frustration, their sleepless nights, the emotional roller coaster of getting their hopes up, only to have them dashed at the cliffs. The feeling that the market was rigged against them. How much more aggressive can we be? Sarah asked, her voice cracking. We're already stretching our budget to the absolute limit. I leaned forward and I said something that shocked them. I said, Sarah, you lost that house because you followed conventional wisdom. And conventional wisdom is costing homebuyers hundreds of thousands of dollars in 2025. Hey, what's up, everybody? Ramin here. Today, I'm going to show you the single biggest mistake even smart, educated buyers are making in this wild 2025 housing market, and exactly how to avoid it. Now, let me be clear. This isn't about saving a few bucks on closing costs. This is about completely rethinking how you approach the biggest financial decision of your life. Because here's the brutal truth. The traditional home buying playbook is dead. It died in 2023. And if you're following the advice from even 2 years ago, well, you're walking into a financial trap that could cost you 6 figures. Did you know that 83% of home buyers in the last year got their mortgage advice from either their real estate agent, a family member, or a quick Google search? And 79% of them focused almost exclusively on interest rate when choosing a lender. This absolutely blows my mind. We'll spend hours researching the perfect vacation, reading reviews, comparing prices, looking at travel hacks. But when it comes to a 30-year financial commitment worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, most people follow the conventional wisdom without even questioning it. But first, let me ask you a question. Have you ever noticed how we question everything in our lives, from the ingredients in our protein powder to which streaming service deserves our money? But when it comes to getting a mortgage, well, we just follow the script. That stops today. Here's a lie you've been told. Shop around for the lowest interest rate, put 20% down if possible, and lock in a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. Sound familiar? Well, it should. It's what your parents told you. It's what your real estate agent is telling you. Hell, it's what I used to tell my clients before I realized how much it was costing them. Let me hit you with some truth. In today's market, tunnel visioning on interest rates is like going to a casino and only focusing on which slot machine has the prettiest lights. Mark from Boston came to me last month after getting it pre-approved with a big bank. He was proud of his 5.8% interest rate, which, sure, wasn't terrible. But what Mark didn't realize is that he was about to leave $137,000 on the table over the life of his loan. Not because of the rate, because of the structure. Wait, what? That can't be right, can it? But it is. And I'm going to break down exactly why. Mark is a software engineer making $145,000 a year. Really great credit score, 768. He's looking at homes in the 750 range. He did what everyone told him to do. Shop around for rates, call 5 lenders, got 5 quotes. The lowest was 5.8% on a 30-year fixed with 20% down. Textbook, right? But here's what none of those lenders told him. With his income, his credit profile, and the current market conditions, there are 7 different ways he could have structured his mortgage. 7. And the difference between the worst and the best options, over $137,000 over the next 10 years. That's not a typo. That's 6 figures of your money. Gone. Because no one showed you there was another way. The system is designed to make you focus on your monthly payment and the interest rates. It's designed to make you compare lenders based on a single number. Why? Because it's simple. Because it's what we've always done. And because it keeps you from seeing the bigger picture. Now, I've been in this industry for over 15 years. I've helped over 1,500 families buy homes. And I'm telling you, focusing solely on interest rates in 2025 is like buying a car based solely on its color. I'll take that one, please. Let me put this another way. Imagine you're buying a car. The salesperson asks, what do you care about most? You say, well, gas mileage. So they show you the car with the best MPG on the lot. But they don't mention that it's too small for your family of 5. And they don't tell you it has a terrible safety record. They don't point out that the maintenance costs are through the roof and double the industry standards. That's exactly what happens when you focus solely on mortgage rates. You optimize for one metric while ignoring 5 others that could be even more important for your specific situation. Look, I get it. I really do. When I bought my first home in 2008, I did the exact same thing. I called 6 lenders. I wasn't even a broker. I picked the lowest rate and thought I was a genius. No one told me there was a different way to think about this. I remember sitting at the closing table feeling proud that I'd secure a 3.75% interest rate when the average was 4%. I thought I'd won. I thought I'd beat the system. 3 years later, I discovered I left 40,000 bucks on the table because I didn't understand how to structure my mortgage properly for my specific financial situation and my goals. But then I watched the market transform. I watched as rules that made sense for decades suddenly became outdated. And I watched as smart people, doctors, lawyers, tech executives, kept making the same expensive mistake over and over again. That's when I realized this isn't their fault. No one is teaching this stuff. So what's the better approach? Stop thinking about getting a mortgage. Start thinking about building a mortgage strategy. Let that sink in for a second. A mortgage isn't just a loan. It's a financial instrument, a tool that when used correctly can build wealth far beyond the home itself. Think about it like this. When you buy a stock, you don't just look at the current price, right? You think about its growth potential, you think about dividend yield, and how it fits into your portfolio. So why do we treat the biggest debt of our lives like it's just a necessary evil? Well, here's my philosophy. Your mortgage should work for you, not against you. It should be as carefully engineered as your retirement account. It should adapt as your life changes. And in 2025's market specifically, it needs to be flexible enough to capture opportunities that simply didn't exist 3 years ago. Let me tell you about Jennifer. Single mom, school admin, making about $85,000 a year. She came to me after getting denied by 3 other lenders. They all told her the same thing. You can't afford a home in this market. But the problem wasn't Jennifer's finances. It was their outdated approach. We built her a customized mortgage strategy, not just a loan. 6 weeks later, she closed on a beautiful 3-bedroom home that she was told was $400 a month outside of her budget. How? Well, we're about to get into it. But first, let me ask you, what if I told you that in many cases a higher interest rate can actually save you money? Does that sound crazy? Right? Buckle up. Let's get tactical. Here are 3 mortgage strategies that are working right now in 2025's unique market. Strategy number 1, you might want to get a notebook and start taking some notes, okay? The 2-loan power play. What? Yeah. Remember Mark from Boston? Here's what we did. Instead of one traditional 30-year fixed mortgage, we split his financing into 2 loans. One 80% loan to value first mortgage at market rate, whatever it is, and a 15% loan to value second mortgage with a slightly higher rate. Now, the second loan had a 7.5% interest rate. Oh my God, that sounds bad, right? But here's the magic. By structuring it this way, Mark avoids PMI completely, saving $320 a month there. Created a tax-deductible second loan that he could pay off very aggressively. And 3, kept his primary mortgage eligible for streamlined refinancing when rates dropped. The net effect, even though his blended rate was technically 0.3% higher than the bank's offer, his monthly payment was $181 less. And over 10 years, he'll save $137,000. You might need to rewind. Go ahead, do what you need to do. Just write this stuff down or simply call me. But wait, I can already hear some of you guys saying, Ramin, that only works if you have great credit and a stable job. Fair point. So let's talk about strategy number 2. Strategy number 2 I call the ARM arbitrage. What? Yeah, I know. Adjustable rate mortgages got a bad rap. Weren't they part of the 2008 crisis? Yes and no. Today's ARMs are regulated differently and can be incredibly powerful when used strategically. Look at Lisa and Carlos. First-time buyers, combined income of about $110,000. They were approved for a 30-year mortgage, fixed rate at 6.1%, and they were ready to sign. But when we looked at their 5-year plan, they wanted to have kids and eventually move to a bigger place. We realized they were paying a massive premium for stability. They didn't need that. We switched them to a 7/1 adjustable rate mortgage at 5.2%. Lower monthly payments from day one, but here's the real win. By applying the monthly savings to additional principal payments, they'll have $31,000 more equity when they sell in 5 years. That's $31,000 of additional down payment for their forever home, just by matching their mortgage payment to their plan. But here's the catch. This only works if you're honest about your timeline. If you say you'll move in 5 years but actually stay for 20, and an arm could cost you an arm and a leg. This isn't about finding hacks. It's about finding alignment. Remember when I said sometimes a higher rate can save you money? This is where it gets interesting. Are you guys still writing down things? Okay. Number 3, the rate buy down reversal. This one's counterintuitive, but stick with me. Meet David. He's a tech worker, excellent credit, buying a $650,000 house. Every lender offered to buy down his rate, pay points or upfront interest to lower his interest rate right now. But here's what they didn't mention. The break-even point on that buy down was 7.5 years, meaning if David refinanced or moved before then, he had been losing money. So we did the opposite. We took the slightly higher rate at 6.3% interest instead of 5.9, in effect exchanged for his lender credits that covered nearly all of his closing costs, saving him $14,200 up front. That cash went straight into a high yield improvement for his property, new energy efficient windows and heat pump that reduces monthly utility bills by $210, qualified for $7,500 in tax credits, and increases home value by an estimated $28,000. All because we looked beyond the rate to complete the financial picture. I can literally see some of you shaking your heads. This goes against everything I've ever known, blah, blah, blah. Lower rates are always better, right? Not anymore. Not in this market. Look, I'm not saying interest rates don't matter. Of course they do. But they're just one factor in a very complicated equation. And in 2025, with housing inventory so tight and prices climbing, your mortgage strategy can make or break your wealth building potential. Think about this. The difference between a good mortgage and a great mortgage strategy can, on a $500,000 home, it can easily be $100,000 over 10 years. That's not pocket change. That's your kid's college fund. That's years shaved off your retirement timeline. Now, before I wrap up, let me address something very important. I'm not saying you should get exotic, complicated loan products. I'm not pushing negative amortization loans or any other risky structure. What I am saying is that one size does not fit all approach in mortgages, and it's costing you money, period. When Sarah and Mike, the couple I mentioned at the beginning, came back to me, we completely reimagined their approach instead of stretching for their dream home now. We structured financing to let them buy a more modest starter home with incredibly favorable terms. The monthly payment, $870 less than they had been prepared to spend on their dream house. That difference is going into an investment account earmarked specifically for their dream home down payment. In 3 years, they'll have built significant equity and have a separate down payment fund that will put them in a completely different buying position. Sarah texted me last week, we actually love this house more than the one we lost, and knowing we have a plan for the future has completely changed how we feel about our finances. That's what this is all about. Not just getting you a home, but setting you up for long-term financial success. So where does this leave you? If you're buying a home in 2025 or even thinking about it, I want you to do 3 things. First, stop comparing lenders based solely on their rates. Instead, ask them, what mortgage strategy do you have? Or what do you recommend for my specific situation? If they can't answer that question thoughtfully, they're not the right partner for you. Second, be radically honest about your timeline. How long will you really stay in this house? The average American moves about every 8.5 years, but millennials and Gen Zs are moving every 4 to 6 years. Your mortgage should match your life, not the other way around. Finally, run the complete numbers, not just the monthly payment. Factor in tax implications, opportunity costs, and your complete financial picture. Look, I know this is a lot to take in. Most people will still walk into their local bank, ask for the best rate, and call it a day. And the system is counting on that. But you're not most people. You're still watching this video, which means you're willing to question conventional wisdom. You're willing to take control of your financial future. That mindset, that willingness to look deeper is what separates those who build real wealth from those who just get by. I see it every day. I see families transform their financial trajectory just by approaching this one decision a little bit differently. And in this wild 2025 market, that approach isn't just helpful, it's absolutely essential. If you found this valuable, smash that subscribe button. I'll be diving deeper into specific strategies for different scenarios in the coming weeks. And if you think somebody that you know needs to hear this, please forward this to them right now. Remember, your mortgage shouldn't be something that happens to you. It should be something that works for you. That's a total mind shift. I'll catch you in the next one.